Today, we're diving into Traction by Gino Wickman. It's a book that has pretty much become the go-to operating manual for thousands of businesses out there. So let's get right into it.
Let me ask you something. Does this feel familiar? Your teams just aren't on the same page. Big, important issues seem to just hang around for months, never really getting solved. And your best plans? They keep getting stuck in these weird execution bottlenecks. You're not alone. It's a super common story for growing companies.
But what if you could trade all that chaos for clarity, in discipline, and real accountability? Well, that's exactly the promise of the framework we're talking about today, the one at the very heart of Traction. And that framework is called the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS for short. Now, this isn't some high-level abstract theory. Nope. It's a practical, hands-on blueprint designed to get every single person in your organization pulling in the exact same direction. Okay, so how does EOS actually do all that? Well, it's all built around 6 key components that fit together, kind of like, well, an operating system for your entire business. Let's walk through them. So first up is vision. This is all about getting everyone, and I mean everyone, 100% clear on where you're going and how you're going to get there. Next, people. This makes sure you not only have great people, but that they're in the right seats, the roles that really fit their unique skills. From there, you rely on data. We're talking a few simple, objective numbers that give you a clear pulse on the business. No more guesswork. That data helps you smoke out the real issues, and EOS has a killer process for solving them once and for all. That discipline gets baked into your process, which is just you documenting the core, essential way you run your business. And finally, all of this culminates in Traction. This is the secret sauce. It's what brings the focus and accountability to make that vision a reality. You know, knowing the theory is one thing, but EOS is all about putting it into practice. So let's look at a few of the actual tools that make this system really sing day in and day out. First up, the accountability chart. Okay, so forget your typical org chart. This thing is all about ownership. It forces you to define the most critical roles your business needs to succeed, and then, and this is key, it makes you name one person who is ultimately accountable for each. No more finger pointing, period.
We've all been there, right? The meeting that just drags on with no real point. The Level 10 meeting is basically the antidote to that. It's a super structured 90-minute weekly meeting with a fixed agenda that makes sure you're identifying, discussing, and actually solving your most important issues. Now, to make sure you're running on data instead of just gut feelings, teams use something called the scorecard. And look, it's not some crazy complex dashboard. It's a simple list, maybe 5 to 15 key numbers that give you an absolute pulse on how things are going. And you look at it every single week. And here's what one looks like. See? The beauty is in how simple it is. You've just got the metric, the goal you're shooting for, and what the actual number was for the week. If a number is off track, it's not a reason to panic. It's just an issue to be solved. This kind of clarity lets you spot problems way before they blow up in the full-blown emergencies.
Now, EOS sounds pretty powerful, and it is. But it's not some magic wand you can wave over any organization. So let's get real for a second and take a balanced look at where this system really shines and maybe where it could run into some trouble. So yeah, let's talk about the trade-offs. Because with any system like this, there are always trade-offs. So on one hand, the biggest strength of EOS is how practical and simple it is. The tools are super straightforward, and you can apply them to almost any kind of business. But honestly, that's also where the main criticism comes from. That one-size-fits-most approach can feel a little rigid or even corporate for certain company cultures. And it puts a huge burden on the leadership team to stay disciplined. This isn't a quick fix. It is a serious, long-term commitment. So what's the bottom line here for leaders? When you cut through it all, why should you care about getting traction? So what does this all mean for you as a leader? Well, the key is you can start simple. You can actually just adopt powerful tools like the scorecard we just talked about, or something called the Vision/Traction Organizer, the VTO, which is basically your entire business plan on just 2 pages. You could also just start using the problem-solving track they call IDS, which stands for Identify, Discuss, and Solve. Any of these tools can help you align your culture, measure what really matters, and stop putting out the same fires over and over again. In the end, it really all boils down to this one idea. Traction was never meant to be one of those feel-good, inspirational business books. Think of it more like a user manual. It's a playbook designed from the ground up to be put into action, creating a common language and a common set of tools for your entire team. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. When you look back at those 6 components, vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What's the one component your team really needs to fix first?